hot already. We are in a heat advisory here, and man. So I thought I had everything straightened out with the UPS man. Yesterday, one of my friends told me that a package he sent, he's like, is this the correct address? Because it says that this address doesn't exist. I'm going, it's existed since 1984. I know that. And so I had to call the UPS people, and I got this woman who shouldn't be working with people at all. She was extremely unfriendly, extremely acted like, you ever had one of those teachers act like they don't care about their kids at all? That's what I felt like. I was like, but ma'am, I'm trying to get her, like, hey, I'm trying to help you out here. I didn't have to call you. Yeah, I'm just, I'm just trying as nice as I can to tell her, well, here's the directions. She's like, no, that ain't how it works, honey. If you didn't got the street sign, I'm going, what? Because the last lady was like, well, can you give me some descriptions of your house? The last lady I worked with on Monday, totally different lady, was a wonderful lady. This lady doesn't know what wonderful means. She was extremely rude, and UPS is not the store I would ever pick. I mean, the guy who's working today did not work yesterday, so he's like, oh yeah, Isaiah was working yesterday. He didn't know, because it's the same guy yesterday or today that saw me on Tuesday, so he knows me. So that's cool. The other guy, whatever. I don't know. I'm just glad it got here, and thankfully, and if it's the package I'm thinking of, unless for some weird reason I got another UPS package that's floating around, you never know, because I'm trying to cut back on buying, because I realized yesterday, oh my gosh, this castle, where am I going to put it? I found a place right in there, which is ironic. It's right beside, I have a Playmobil church that I've had forever, because it just looks like an old-fashioned church. It's kind of cool. Actually, I think I have a nun up in the steeple hanging out. It's supposed to be like a marriage chapel, but it just looks like an old-fashioned country church, and I just kind of think it's cool. So I got it in the living room up on this skinny piece of furniture, and then right beside of it, it's another skinny piece of furniture. So I was like, hey, it could fit right here. So I got a Playmobil castle beside a Playmobil church. So anyway, so if this is what I think it is, it's from Will Helms. So check his website out, his YouTube channel, and join up. On Sundays, we have a 118. It's a 118 channel. It's devoted to 118 scale action figures. And that's my preferred scale for humans, like G.I. Joe and things like that. And oh my gosh, he sent both of them. I was not expecting this. Oh my gosh, thank you, Will. I was completely shocked, because he asked which one do you pick, and I picked Vulture one. So this is the one I picked. I had absolutely no idea he was going to send this one too. That's freaking awesome. So okay, so anyway, so what I was going to say before I saw that, sometimes you'll do like giveaways, and this giveaway was pick one of these, or pick things if your name gets drawn, the hashtag thing. And I was like, whoa, I actually won something. I'm not a winner. I mean, that's why I don't gamble. People are like, oh, why don't you buy the lottery tickets? Because I'll never win. It'd be like one more buck flying out the window for me. Except lottery tickets cost more than $1 these days, I think. Anyway, so this is the one that I definitely wanted, because I've always liked Vulture. Back in the 1990s, remember the Spider-Man cartoon? That Vulture in the Spider-Man cartoon was extremely cool. He wasn't some old geezer. He was a young dude with blonde hair. I think it was blonde. It was showing the old guy didn't have hair at all. So I don't know the story behind that, because I've never seen that episode, but I had the smaller 5-inch figure, and then I had the 10-inch, the 2-up figure of it. And they had a really cool feature where if you squeeze his legs together, his arms pop out and his wings pop out. Now, these aren't going to have that feature, because they've gotten away from gimmicks to more articulation, which, yeah, I mean, I prefer that. I definitely prefer the articulation, but there's just something about squeezing the legs together and making the wings pop out. It's just a fun feature. There's some features that I do enjoy. Some I could care less about. It's one of those things that's give or take. Like, I don't like sound effects unless it's like pew, pew, pew. I like light up things. It's just take and choose. So we got 2 here to look at. That's really awesome. I didn't know I was going to have 2. We have Miles Morales and Marvel's Vulture. I don't know if there's a current cartoon out. I don't watch modern TV. I don't have any of those cables or whatever. And it's like, oh, you poor thing. No, it's by choice. I remember I cut the line on whenever they overstepped and started putting things on my TV that I did not approve of at all. For what was it called? Back when I had satellite dish, I called them. I was like, I'm done. Cancel me. And they're like, well, please stay. Please, 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 please. And they tried to get me free, whatever. And I was like, I don't want to support what you guys were putting on this thing. So that was the last of that. And, you know, it's just ever since the 2010s, it seems like falling out of love with TV. It's just, TV is, in my personal opinion, you know how when back in the 70s they thought Three's Company was bad? Oh, it's way worse than that now. All right, so even the children's cartoons are like, after what Disney said, I'm like, nope. So there we go. We got Vulture's wings on. I think I got them on all the way. So cool. All right, so this is Vulture, and I don't know which incarnation of Vulture it is. I'm pretty sure that younger dude was not the older dude, unless he had some kind of, you know how comic books or TV shows work. I don't know what they did in this TV show to make him that young. But the Vulture I grew up knowing about was the old dude. He's got great articulation. So he's got his shoulders, of course, I just limited his articulation going back. But it can still go around 360 degrees. He's got technically a bicep swivel. His arms can go 90 degrees in the wrong direction. Like when I was a kid, I saw David Davis, my neighbor, jump off the back of the truck and his arm went back like this. I was going, hey, how did you do that with your arm? And he said, well, do what? And all of a sudden he looked down, his arm was getting blue and puffing up. And I was like, whoa. And his dad rushed him off to the hospital. So yeah, so it goes 90 degrees this way too. It's very few times that auction figures go backwards like that. It's pretty cool. It's got this little spiky thing right here too. I don't know what that's about. All right, there's no waist articulation, which I don't care about waist articulation. It's got the thigh thing. It doesn't have a thigh swivel, but it has, let's see, like a hinge, kind of like replacing the ball. It's got a hinge and it goes up to pretty close to a full sitting down position, like he's gonna sit. He's not gonna sit. He can't kick all the way back because he's got buttocks, and he can do a side split so he can join the cheerleading squad. Go Eagles! All right, so yeah, my 9th grade school was the Eagles. All right, and he's got no foot articulation, which I'm not a big fan of feet articulation to begin with, to be honest with you. I don't really, especially the toe articulation. I used to think that was so cool when I had the Spider-Man that did that, the very first, what became Marvel Legends. Not a big fan. Speaking of Spider-Man, here is the Miles Morales Spider-Man. I don't know much about this character. I was out of comic books before he came into play. I have, of course, watched the movies, so I know that much about him. So I don't know. Sometimes the movies are not like the comic books. You tell me. He's got pretty much the same articulation. And he's got a skateboard, which is really rad. I think that's cool. I did have back in the day, well, back in the 90s, it has such many cool figures. Like, let's see, where's his wheels at? Oh, they're freaking tiny wheels. Okay, I'm not used to the tiny wheel thing. I did have I think it was like a 10-inch, like the 2-up Spider-Man skater. He came with like a skater helmet that I still have somewhere. It was basically a plastic. It wasn't a doll. It didn't have, well, it had a few pieces of clothing. Like, I don't remember which one he had, because I also had like the surfer one. It was like Surfer Spider-Man, Skater Spider-Man, Rock Climber Spider-Man. They did some stupid, crazy, funny things back then. I thought it was awesome. It just doesn't look like it has wheels. It's so tiny. Yeah, well, it's cool that he's got a skateboard with a spider on it. That's awesome. No. Tom. Tom's over trying to play my Power Rangers. The ones that have batteries, I got them sitting over here because I took the batteries out. I cleaned them down. The rest of them are in the... I don't know why it does that. It has to be reconnected. I'm not running anything in there. Oh, the Michael Knowles show is still on. I heard the truck coming, and I was like, oh, truck's here. I don't know which one it is, because I also have a FedEx package today. Another one of those, but it's going to be the pirate thing. The FedEx guy will find me. The UPS, well, is that guy right there that came today, that came on Tuesday? He'll find me. He said he'll talk to Isaiah about it, so I'm like, I don't know what he said his name was. Oh, let me show on the back. This is the Green Goblin. He looks nothing like a turkey, though. Gobble, gobble. And the paraglider wings are pretty cool, so I think those too. Alrighty. So we got, they both got paragliders technically. Oh, he's got some light blue accents. Now I did just get at Goodwill a little Spider-Man, and I found out what it was, because if you saw my thrift store Thursday video, oh, that was just yesterday. That Spider-Man was it was one of the movie ones from around 2000, gosh, I want to say 7. I think it was the Andrew Garfield one. Oh, well, I put it on the computer last night because it took me forever to find it, but it was the ultimate posable Spider-Man. It was one of the earlier Hasbro figures. So when I saw him, I was like, he kind of reminds me of that. But that Spider-Man logo right there really does remind me more of it. It's got that long thing. All right, so we got Spider-Man. He goes on this. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. I know. He's got his feet. Okay, so he's going to have the same articulation. They all pretty much have the same. This is the Epic line, and I do like how articulated they are. That one that I got from Goodwill for 49 cents, it was a little more articulated, and I was surprised it was in good condition for its age. Because usually, you know, kids tear those things to pieces. So maybe some other person owned it. Is that the way it goes? Because I feel like that's backwards for some reason, but yeah, okay. So I guess you have to pretend like he's got his hands like in the crucifixion position right there. He's doing the paragliding. Now he might be the one of the figures, like if you're doing this, I kind of want your toes to be pointed, but whatever. I mean, it's all pretend. They can do like this, like the Superman pose. That's pretty cool. And then this is a character back for some weird reason. I remember clearly it was in 7th grade that I used to draw him all the time. I don't know what it was. I drew him a little different every time too. Like I made different color variations, and I don't know. I think he was on one of my notebooks maybe. And so when I was sitting in class and bored, I was just like, you know, so we got a substitute teacher. All you guys busy work. I was just, I remember drawing him. I clearly remember that because I remember that face being like that. And I remember studying the face. Can't remember. I think I had him, but he was fighting, and I made up my own character. It was like kind of like Spider-Woman, but I called her Arachnid. And it was based on a game. I just always had this thing where I tried to turn video games into superheroes. There was a game right out here at the pavilion, which no longer exists, because I would say during the 90s we had a bad hurricane that just wiped out the entire end of the beach. That pavilion went underwater. I wonder if all the arcade games are underwater. But it had arcade games, and it had the pipe type of water slide, which was a little bit more scary to me because I was afraid I was going to slide off and then whee, plap. Because the mountain right out here, Magic Mountain, was the mountain. I liked that water slide better. But I did go on that water slide occasionally. I remember my aunt's grandchildren. Gosh, how does this work? I guess I just call them cousins. They were riding with me one time over there. For some reason, we're on that one instead of the one right over here, which I don't know why. I guess it was less crowded over there. I don't remember. So he's got 2 little what do they call it? Side bags. Yeah, his face is crazy. I just thought it was pretty cool and kind of crazy. Oh, and Arachnid, she looked a lot like my Catwoman doll, except I put a little white streak down her hair. She has that little almost boyish haircut. You remember the Catwoman the 1970s Mego 8-inch figures with Catwoman? She had like a really, really short haircut, like almost like a boy haircut. I always hated it. I was like, why can't she look like like Batman, the TV series? Why can't she look like that Catwoman? Her suit wasn't bad. It's just she looked like a little boy instead. So it's holding on fine. I'm just wondering if I'm supposed to push them in farther or not, but no, it's holding on just fine. So the glider looks like this on the bottom, this on the top, and then this in the front. So we got him gliding to get him. Now I wonder if, no, I guess he couldn't have just made it. Like, I guess he had to pre-make it. Like, sometimes like in the cartoons, he always spun a web and made like a balloon real quick out of like his webbing. It was like, how does he do that? So he would do all kinds of crazy things in the old 60s cartoon, really. And then I think it researched in the 80s, it was pretty much the same, except it was like a little extension to it. So yeah, definitely great character. So glad that Will sent both of them. That's really cool, you Will. Thanks. I'm very happy. This guy right here is awesome. I love that color on him. He's got like a very, almost like a metallic sheen to him. It's like you can see it. It's hard to explain. It's like a little bit marbleized. It's even cooler in person. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but it just looks really neat. Almost like a stone, like an onyx stone or some kind of like precious stone, but not like a jewel that you could see through, although you can almost see it. It's almost iridescent. It's really interesting. He's very matted finish. He's very bright. That's another thing. I always liked his colors. That was a really cool color scheme. Before Barney ruined this color scheme, I thought this was a cool color scheme. Purple and green. And then a little bit of brown, which kind of goes with orange. Just all the secondary colors. And of course, Spider-Man's contrasting. He's got the primary colors, red, well, no white technically, red, blue. Well, his eyes are white, red, white, and blue. And he's got the secondary colors, which are, you know, purple, green, and technically orange would be the secondary color. So they stand out against each other. And then red and green are opposite of each other, but he's mostly got black on him. All right, so yeah, I think you guys have heard enough from me, but I think it's really great. I'm going to go and get out of here because I'm about to sweat. I do want to do one more review, but I'll do that on a separate video, maybe later. I need to get something to drink, but hey, thank you so much, and thank you, Will. And I will try to post this on the Instagrams, the picture at least, because this video goes straight to the thing. My camera won't upload videos like it used to. It's being weird, so I don't know if I'll return to making regular videos, but let's be honest, were they any better? Or should I say any worse? Have a great day. And remember, it's Freedom Friday.